Hey guys, and today Shorty and I are going to do a review between Geelong and the Western Bulldogs, and it's our last visual review for the foreseeable future as we described it.
So, sad times, mate.
It is, yep, certainly.
Sad times. We'll do it over Skype or something.
We'll figure it out, mate. Don't worry.
No, there is a video dedicated to that.
Yeah, is it? Oh yeah, changes to the channel if you want to see a bit more in-depth information on that one. But we went to the game, mate. It was an away game, and you got the general admission tickets. You got on the old blower, and you said, "I want some tickets."
I did, much like Michael Mitchell did. I got those tickets, and it was well worth it because we were fantastic.
It was a fantastic performance.
Better than that one,
as we just said. So we got home by 57 points. A huge win, unexpected margin, and very happy with it. How did you see it?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think that first half in particular was probably the best footy we played all year. I mean, it's up there with the best wins against probably Hawthorn, Giants, Crows, you said, and North, obviously.
Melbourne, Port Adelaide, and Adelaide.
Yeah, so we had some good wins, obviously. But
yeah, it's been good.
No, just that pressure. I actually watched the first quarter back today, and
damn.
Yeah, that pressure was immense. We just kept forcing them back, and our transition was good. Yeah, the middle were just so damaging. Outside of the centre clearance with Dangerfield or Selwood dominating out of there, we get so many real dangerous entries and things like that. So that was really good. That first half in particular, like we held them off. They came like all good sides do at some point, and I think they got within 28 or something like that.
Yeah.
And at that stage, you're like, gee, we probably wouldn't mind a bit of response here, and we did. And look, the Dogs probably weren't their very best. They had some poor skill errors, which you could say was more than brought about by our pressure, but we really made them pay for some of those turnovers in crucial areas, which isn't a given. You still got to convert the turnover to a score, a goal.
Yeah, it's one step of the two-step process.
Yeah, and we did that really well. But no, it was hugely impressive. I mean, after losing Collingwood and Carlton, we knew we had a big stretch coming up, and we thought this will really test us out. And we've risen to basically every challenge, and most part been extremely impressive. And now we sit in the top two.
Yeah, pretty much. It's good.
A pretty handy run home. Not that you can really lock in any easy run homes, but we've gotten through some of the toughest stretch of our season.
Yeah. It'll only get easier to an extent.
Yeah, and look, I was just stoked with. All parts of our game you almost couldn't fault much of it. I mean, our conversion has been a fault in some good performances, and that was at its very best. So
pretty straight.
Yeah. No, not much more I can add to that, mate. Just it was an all-round great showing, and the Dogs got us in the contested ball, which they're dominant at. But otherwise, we got up in the clearances. Our tackling was huge.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good display.
That's what we like to see, mate. And biggest loss of the year for the Dogs, actually. They've been the stingiest defence in the league, and comes the real stingiest defence in the league, and they show how it's done. And I think we're with the highest percentage and probably the best defensive team potentially as well. So that's you see that premiership radar on the Fox Footy thing where they show you got to average around the 100-point mark and then concede around the 70 mark. We wouldn't be doing too bad there. So the Dogs got a little bit of a fright. We were great around the stoppages. They got the contested possession count, as you said, but we won in clearances, and that was always good. Pressure was amazing, immense, delicious, whatever you like. So they just did not get out. We were able to stop or at least mitigate the damage that players like Bontempelli could do, like Jackson McRae and Lockie Hunter got a bit of easy ball, and those prime ball movers for the Dogs didn't really get much time or space at all night, and I think that was obviously a huge part for us. Getting the 4 points, always, when you could stop an opposition's best players, that certainly helps you in good stead.
Yeah.
Best first half of the year, and better kicking on goal helped that. We kicked 10-3 and then ended up kicking 16-4 for the game. Dogs kicked 5-13, so their inaccuracy costed them big time as well. But you could also argue their pressure cost those bad kicking a goal. So there's a bit of that. But they were poor execution from the Dogs early on, and probably throughout the game. There were times where they were good, but most of the time, yeah, they didn't really use the ball that well and just had costly, crucial turnovers at really intense times where they had to stand up, and we were able to make them pay on the turnover where we may not have done so recently, maybe. There's been times where we've got the turnover cool, but then cohesion between midfield and forward and is one thing, and then conversion on the goal, part two of the deal, hasn't been great, and we were able to close the gap for those two last night, and get rid of the issue almost.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic, wasn't it?
Lovely done. What else we got here, mate? Defence was fantastic, and as I said here, Dogs kicking and finishing wasn't great. Our defence, whenever the Dogs kicked it inside 50, it was a tough kick. I think they only had a few marks inside 50 in the first half, and they were basically right on the 50. So it was credit to our defence to really set up well and zone well. And when the Dogs kicked it inside 50, at other times they'd kick it to a Cats player. So it suggested we were confident, we were being in the right spots at the right time, and you can't get much better than that. Intercept marks in the back 50 are priceless.
Yeah, read it really well.
Read it like a book, son. So, and we responded when the Dogs were coming back. So we got to 28, or maybe even 22, probably just 28. And we're like, we need a goal. The game should be done. Stanley's had a shot. Hawkins has had a shot. Game should be done and dusted. Dogs get a bit of a sniff, as good sides do, as you said. And we managed to respond when we had to. If they got another goal or two, it would have been really, really interesting. The old Geelong of maybe the last 2 or so years would have sort of gone into the challenge and just almost been bent backwards, and the Dogs may have got the job done, but to our credit, our leader stood up and put in a great performance over the 4 quarters.
Absolutely, mate. It was good to get along.
That's what we like, son. We'll go to the votes.
Well, the top 2 were clear, weren't they? Dangerfield, the 3 votes. He again backed up his amazing performance the week before.
Brownlow, give him the Brownlow now.
He's been leading it considerably at the moment.
Considerably?
6 or 7, maybe 8 votes, I reckon.
Okay.
Selwood, I gave 2 votes to. I thought he was best on ground to half time. And there was a handful of guys who could have given the 1 vote to. I'm sure we'll touch on some like Enright, Henderson, Blitzarves. Even Harry Taylor was good. But I gave it to Jimmy Bartel. I just thought, especially early, he was really good. He gets a little bit of cheap ball. He's just a real general all over the ground. He sets us up nicely. He really didn't waste much of it at all. And even late when we needed that settling goal, he just made that effort to get the ball in the forward pocket, handled to Hawkins, who snapped a goal at whatever point it was. I remember us saying it was crucial. So there's a lot of contributors, which is good.
Made some good decisions, and lots of good contributors means you generally win. So
it does.
That's what we like. 3 to Dangerfield, 37 touches, 4 marks, 7 tackles, and 2 goals, just as explosive best. Kicked the cream on the cake in the last quarter from the boundary line, which will probably be one of the goals of the round. You'd like to think so, but you never know.
Absolutely.
They love danger, so it's got to be. Fantastic, brilliant beast throughout the game, and he just stands up. So he just does what he does each week, and it's always at a high level. So, as you said, best to half time, 28 touches, got a mark, and 4 tackles and a couple of goals. The midfielders kicking goals, mate, is priceless as well as intercept marks, so we've got a nice balance happening there. So it was a beast around the contest, and it really made his possessions count, I thought. I think he hit most of them. So, and just in general, around that stoppage, he really stood up when we needed someone to, alongside Danger, who have both been absolute guns.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
And the 1 vote was really hard. I gave it to Blitzarves, and he got the 16 touches, which was 4 kicks out of those 16. 8 marks, and he got 11 tackles, and that's mainly why I gave it to him, that real effort to just get to the ball carrier, and he laid some really good tackles at some really crucial times. And, even had some pretty critical times. He did that handball he had to do, delivered that kick he needed to, and I liked the way he went about it, but also would have loved to give a vote to Bartel and Taylor and Henderson and Enright. I thought they were all great too.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Menzel as well, 4 goals. On the same page, mate. The chopping block, though, The
Yeah.
last visual chopping block.
Now, a bit of a quiet one, I think, because we were so good. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the blokes we might normally pick on or things like that are impressive. Gregson was laid in for Cam Guthrie, and
Yeah.
he was alright. Like, I mean,
Gregson, yeah.
he was lively, set up a couple of nice goals. Could have converted better at times, but he was okay. Of course, Caddy, medial ligament strain. They'll wait and see on the severity and how long it is, but you'd suggest at least 3 weeks out.
I'm not getting much luck with injuries at the moment.
Nah, it's frustrating. I mean, at least it's not real long term. When he limped off, I was like, gee whiz, that, who knows what that could be. But, so yeah, I mean, even someone like Murdoch, I mean, he had some shaky moments, but looking at the stats, 11 marks, I mean, that's the blueprint of him. He really worked hard. He got into space. I think he had 21 touches. I'd imagine
He did, yeah.
15 or 16 were uncontested. And,
Kicked a goal.
and that's what he's about. I mean, he's not going to win your hard ball and tackle too hard, really.
Yeah.
But if he can get on the outside, he's a nice kick. That's enough. I mean, he was okay last night. I mean, he could build still, but he's okay. So, yeah, I couldn't see any real changes aside from Caddy out of necessity, and Guthrie was just sick, so naturally comes back in. Yeah. Clark, of course, is a talking point from the VFL, who kicked 5. And if you were picking quieter players from Saturday night, Shane Kirsten would be there.
Back on the old jumping block.
No, I wasn't super disappointed with Shane's game. I mean, he was okay at stages. He was just a little quiet. You know,
Jeff wasn't happy with him.
Nah, look, he wasn't fantastic, but
it's better than probably some of his worst games, though. I reckon.
There's times where he can still let you down, and I guess you raise that expectation when he does play a good one. You go, well, there's your level, mate. Stick to it. So he dropped under it last night. He'll be disappointed. I'm disappointed. You're disappointed, but hopefully he bounces back next week.
Yeah.
And Chris Scott has publicly said that Clark will be in the 2s for minimum. I think he said 4, minimum 4. But if he bangs the door down like he is, he might be back in 3. But we will be as cautious as ever. We really will.
Always will be. Yep.
I mean, Clark is, his body is very fragile. We know that, and look, you're gonna have to just give him time to really find his form. VFL to AFL is a massive jump.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
It's great to see him playing like that, and we saw little bits and pieces. He's marking the ball well. He's a nice kick.
Sure is. Yeah.
I think the biggest positive is just to have that depth there and that option. A bloke just plying his trade at the VFL. There's no real need to rush him in because we're going fine in the seniors.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
It's really good. Cowan looked to be serviceable, and Lang also seemed to find a little bit looking at stats in the game itself. But I wouldn't have thought those 2 guys did enough to break in. Lang would obviously be the closest, but
Guthrie for Caddy, eh?
Yeah, I think so. And keep on the radar, Mitch Clark, because wouldn't that be a weapon? Comes late in the year, September, if all of a sudden he just clicks, and a dynamic duo of Selwood and Dangerfield's joined by Hawkins and Clark.
Taylor and Lonergan down back. It's not too bad.
Our back line as a whole has been amazing.
Yeah,
it really has.
Yeah, it's just out of this world.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But take a look at next week, mate.
We got the Saints at Etihad Stadium, a nice away game, and as you say, mate, they've been maybe not quite under the microscope as some other clubs that have had a bit more flack this year. May I say Richmond and Collingwood, who've been talked every week to the cows come home. The Saints, they can be pretty good on Etihad. They can be very quick, which can exploit a team like ourselves who aren't the quickest side. But we certainly have the seniority and the maturity to win.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We've got much more class, you'd think. And if I was given a tip, I'd say us by around the 40 points mark. But you never know. Like, we've taken some not so great teams very lightly, and then they come out and pants us. So look. If we play like we did last week, we'll win. But last night, I should say.
Yeah.
We should win. Fingers crossed. just depends how we come out the first 10, 15 minutes, what the mindset of the group is. It's all about attitude as far as I'm concerned, not about what we can do. We know what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I tend to agree. So that 7-goal mark, which, we could look back and that could be conservative, just come out and pump the Dogs. But as you say, Saints can be dangerous. What Saints side's going to turn up? I mean, their poorer outings have been interstate.
Yeah.
So you would expect a reasonable showing, hence our margins, I suppose. But if we really show up, then I don't think they can stop us. But there can be always that train of thought where there's a tendency after a side's been up for a few weeks, big games, that there is just that, it's not taking a side easy, but a natural letdown. Just to, they give them an easier week on the track because they've had a big, stretch of games.
Yeah.
And just mentally they don't quite rock up.
They coast into it.
Yeah, the application isn't 100%. So it could be one of those games where it's close for half and then we kick into gear. And if the Saints get rolling, as we saw last year, they're more than capable. I mean, they took it up to the Hawks North this year. They're a capable side, but as you say, if we rock up with anything close to certainly last night and even the week before, we will no doubt take the points.
Yeah, it's good to me, mate, and I'm yawning away. So there we go. That's the review. The Geelong Dogs do Geelong home by 57 points. Massive win, great game, and perfect result.
Mate, that's the last vid.
That's it. That's it, guys.
We don't know when. I'm sure he's got to get his contract really happening and see what the new job brings. But
going to work first.
For the foreseeable future. You about to tear up, mate?
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
Are you all right?
I'm a little emotional, but we'll fight through.
Cries at the end. That's it, guys. So probably podcast out from now on. If you haven't seen if you haven't seen the changes to the channel video, I suggest you check it out so you see what's sort of going on. We go into more detail there on what's going on, all the big changes and everything. So don't tear up, guys. It's gonna be okay. That's what we are, so that's all right. Thanks for hanging around, guys. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe, share it around, all the fancy stuff, and thanks for sticking around, seeing our mugs each week, just to review the Cats, talk some stuff about the tips, and answer some questions.
Now I'm getting emotional, mate. You really winding it up.
Oh well, it's been fun, guys.
It's trying to make me cry.
It'll be okay, guys. I promise you. Thanks again for hanging around. You'll listen to us next time. See you guys all then.